part 2, and well, if you haven't watched part 1, you can tell where I am quite obviously. Well, not right now, I'm actually somewhere else right now, but you'll be able to know very soon if you keep watching. Okay, we are currently looking at some putakawa trees, and through them is the surprise. A lump of concrete, if you can see that correctly. Now of course that's not so surprise. We're at Zealandia. I mean, let's face it, where else would we have been? I know, probably not much of a surprise for a channel like mine, but yeah. So where was I? Clearing. Through here, there's all sorts of trees popping up. And this clearing was created by a few of these coniferous trees, just yet again getting tall on these unstable slopes and just falling over in the wind or whatever. And obviously we've sort of got this valley here, so it's quite a nice contour, got all this light coming in from the north, and I've got these beautiful deciduous trees, which I'm not sure exactly what they are, but yet again, such an amazing contrast with all this evergreen vegetation around us. And as you can see, a lot of these coniferous trees are dying, and well, it makes them even more prone to falling over. So there's this big dead one here that has fallen into this clump, but could have easily fallen out, and probably will actually fall down in the future. So it's just amazing how, you know, some elements of a forest just change as they age and get older and all of that, and it creates a really, you know, distinct and unique thingamabobby. Anyway, and I'm kind of prattling on. Yeah, as you can see, we're obviously getting a bit higher up. Trees are getting smaller, and it's virtually all natives up here, including quite a lot of Mersine Australis, aka this one, but it's hard to see in the sunlight. And yeah, again, I can't remember any common names of that one, so you just have to find that out. But yeah, couldn't even see the blue skies through there. So so you can actually see sort of, I know we're not really supposed to, this isn't really much of a path here, but yeah, you've got this sort of other valley through there. Got this chillaxy seat, and oh, this is a pylon track. Now I remember, it takes a while to jog my memory. So yeah, I might do some journey planning and then be back with you. Decided not to go too far today, and am going down the pylon track in this direction. The other direction takes you to the perimeter, which isn't exactly where I want to be going right now. Guess what caused this? Starts with a K and is a parrot. At least I believe it is. It surely must be kaka. Kaka are just amazing. Whee! Gosh, I forgot how fun some of these hills were. Whee! Oh, looks like another few trees fell down. Oh wow, lots have fallen down recently. Guess it's a perfect storm of wind and rain. Just an ironic statement, considering, well, a perfect storm probably would involve wind and rain. Oh, aren't I funny? That's why you tune into this channel. Oh, hello, fantail. Oh, Astelia. Yeah, I think that's Astelia. Ah, good old native perching lilies. I think it does belong to the Astelia genus, because the colosperums, which are very similar to Australis, have that kind of purple colouring on the inside of, you know, on the top side of a leaf around the base. Also, the leaves are a lot thicker and are designed to catch water. Whee! Let's see. Ran a lake track. Yeah, top dam. So yeah, I said we'd go and visit the top dam. Woohoo! Have to admit, the traction on these boots is impressive. Attractive a bird hide. Oh, we might go down that. So easy to overshoot an entrance, you know, exit, entrance. Depends on your perspective. And this is it. Just amazing view of the upper lake or reservoir. Got a bit of shelter if it's pelting down. And I hear paradise ducks. Oh no, mallards. Let us zoom in. Oh, so nice. So many people in the other parts, but up here no one goes. You can hear some bratty children in the distance, I believe. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but I guess productions can always edit it out if I'm being a bit annoying. Yeah. It was just serene. Sun just comes in, soaking in from the northwest. And these are called the Rotomahanga Wetlands. Yes, Rotomahanga. And I believe that was actually a functioning gate at some point. But now vegetation has claimed the way. God, there's so many ducks in that pond. Pity I can't get a better shot. Oh God, I never noticed this cute little island. I mean, a lot of up here is, you know, quite concealed from the dam. You sort of see this like little rocky shore, some grasses, but you don't sort of see this little lagoon and the island and the peaceful ducks. I mean, I do pop along here, but today's a really good day for, well, watching the duckies. It's a pity I can't get a better angle. But I know, obviously, the reason why I can't get a better angle is, well, because we're giving them privacy. I mean, already a public have so much access to a lot of this place. It's good to have some areas where birds aren't being hassled by people. And I guess in this case it includes me. Anyway. Obviously one has to give credit to the Lions Club that built this. And yeah, time to march onwards. Onwards and I believe even upwards. It's a lovely little Rotomahanga Wetlands, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, but that's the pronunciation you'll get out of me today. So we're actually quite close to the lake shore along here. Obviously, it's a bit of an obvious statement, I guess. I know, this channel is the best place to go when you want the obvious stated for you. Really nice. got a lot of manuka in this little foresty bit here. Oh, there's like another little lagoon leading along that side. Ah, pity can't really see it with the camera, or the chimera as I can call it. Ah, this lovely manuka here. So I believe it's a manuka, it could be a kanuka, but yet again, whether it's a Leptospermum scoparum or a Kunzia euchinodes or whatever they call it, yet again, I'm not the Latin man, except I do Latin, but yeah, not really, not the language. Yes, so that's where we would have been if we kept going along. Listen to how peaceful and quiet the forest is. There's a tui flying in the distance. Hear fantails talking. And the illusion gets spoiled when I run down these slopes. I know it's a delicate balancing act, really. Going for a good jog through forest and appreciating its finer points. So I probably err more on the side of running through it like a bat out of hell. But it's always important to appreciate it. That's a big tree. Whee! Oh, let's see if there's anyone in these wet hotels. Let's have a look. No residents. Oh, except a little spider in there. And always make sure you close up wet hotels. Because I mean, wait, how does this work? Does it just go in there? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oops, does this one want to come off? Yep. Nope. Yeah, so obviously you're supposed to open and close the door gently. That is a good piece of advice. So let's face it, who would really like their house to be ripped apart in two every time a giant decides that it's a good idea to look into your house, because it'll be quite fun and interesting. Things like this are always subject to perspective and opinion. Oops. Not too many people on the upper dam at the moment. Legendary article of engineering. Oh, hello bird. Like the sun and the view and all that kind of good stuff here. So that was the upper reservoir where we were there before. And there's even that little lagoon that where the ducks were and the bird hides. Yep, that's where we were just a moment ago. Well, it's probably not really a moment ago. And there's another shore. Some seagulls and that little rocky little beachlet where really it's sort of, you know, where all the small rocks have flown along the water course and out into the upper reservoir. So where were we now? We're standing on a gravity dam. I would film this from the sides there, but I'm too afraid of losing the camera. Camera is very important. I mean, let's face it, we'd lose this video, we'd lose the camera, memory card, and I'd be very annoyed with myself. You can hear the kaka just flying past. And that was a tui. And that was a kaka again. So, where were we now? This is a gravity dam. At least I believe it's a gravity dam. Yeah, it is a gravity dam. That's why we're so high above the water. Because obviously the higher we are, the more gravity is placed upon any, mass here. So basically, oh, it's some nice is that totara? No, it's probably manuka. It's hard to tell with the sun. Anyway, it's on this gravity dam, which is obviously quite high up because otherwise we wouldn't have enough gravity and this thing would collapse. Good old lump of unreinforced concrete, which, let's face it, reinforced concrete has obvious, you know, structural advantages in the medium to longish term. But the rebar can cause problems, you know, the iron reinforcing rods or steel within the structure. While if it's an unreinforced concrete structure, especially a, you know, structure using gravity, because that is how the strongest unreinforced structures are built. Like, let's think of the Colosseum, you know, from ancient Rome. The only reason why that's standing is not only was the Roman cement mix incredibly good, but yeah, obviously it's an unreinforced concrete structure. And well, you know, it did really well because it was all that gravity, all those thick, strong arches that weighed a ton, and meant that the structural forces on the concrete, yeah, kept all, you know, everything in check. So, you know, it's the making sure that, you know, the structure is being compacted by more mass above it, so more concrete. See, concrete fails because it can't expand. Like, let's face it, can you imagine a lump of concrete expanding and going back into place? Like, you know, moving and going back into place. It won't. It's concrete. Like wood, you can jump on a piece of wood, it will move around, it won't break. At least, unless you're putting too much weight on it. A piece of concrete, however, it will either stay exactly still or it'll break. If it's a reinforced concrete piece, it will crack a bit, stay intact, until the iron rods break or the concrete around it breaks. Anyway, I'm probably boring you with concrete when we're in a nature reserve and this is a gardening YouTube channel. But let's face it, if we're talking about concrete, it means that we don't need to worry about the crowds around us. People get so bored they walk away. At least that's the plan. I know, not very nice to bore all of those around you, and I know I'm probably boring you as a viewer. But let's face it, it's concrete. Good old gravity dams. Oh, what is this? A snazzy vehicle? This looks new-ish. Ranger. Oh, it's electric. Funny, EV, electric vehicle. I mean, especially when they say like EV truck or something, like electric vehicle truck. I just love how linguistically funny that sounds. Anyway, this is a particularly good example of the kohu. Or is it kohuhu? Anyway, the native tree fuchsia. Firstly, this isn't the most amazing specimen of it, and as you can see, it's deciduating. I mean, that's my term for something that's deciduous that has obviously lost its leaves. And obviously, this is big, it's lots of flowers, and bears fruit, which were actually a reasonably significant source of food for pre-European inhabitants, and even the European inhabitants. I mean, let's face it, you can seriously make a fuchsia berry jam. I'm not kidding you. Fuchsia flowers and berries are completely edible, and even the young leaves can be consumed, I think. Anyway, so what was this botanical name again? I mean, let's see if we can just bring out some Latin. I think it's Fuchsia exotica? Sounds about right. Because yet again, it's so big and unusual and exotically. Okay, let's just try not to butcher too many words. And let's go down to the caca feeders. There we have it. No caca. I'd probably chase them off. I love the sign. This really is incredibly logical. Please help keep the wildlife wild. Logic. I like that. Absolute logic. Oh, Po hui hui. That is, yeah, Muhlenbeckia australis. Oh, yes. Oh, hello, sparrow. You into those developing berries? The Muhlenbeckia australis, which has climbed up and enveloped this tree here. So you can see all of this Muhlenbeckia growth over, I believe this is a whitey wood. Yeah, Melicitus ramifolius. Wait, no, what was that? They're just Muhlenbeckia foliage. It's kind of hard to tell when the big thing's just kind of strangling over. But yeah, I could be right. Yeah, I think I am right. It's always pays double check. I mean, when you don't double check, that's when you get complacent and then you actually start getting things wrong even though you know you're certain you're right. Ah, yes. See what we've got down Lynch Track Way. Oh, they've put in all these new little native plant identification signs. Oh, another climber. See, we've got a Cahuia or Parsonia hirtifolia. And good old common name of New Zealand Jasmine. Because yet again, you know, I'm sure they always come up with these funny common names. Ooh. So let's see if we can find it. I mean, what does it say about it? Grow up to... the vines of this plant can even grow up to 10 centimeters in diameter. But I can't actually find any. I could actually have the camera focused on it a whole time and not even be seeing it. That's a bit weird. Wouldn't surprise me though. I'm surprisingly inobservant at times, but for the life of me I can't find it. So we're going to move on. And let's see, is this a Miro? Yeah, this is a, no, it's a Matai. Matai, my friend. So that is a child of a Matai child. And yes, Matai can even be used as a people name. So, this is a people name and a tree name as well. Woohoo! All that water coming out of that pipe. Oh, another one! Pigeon Wood. Poro. Kawahuri. Hidikapa. Abara. Okay, let's have a look. See, I believe I can find this plant. Maybe it's not that plant. Maybe it's... yeah, I think it's more this plant. Yeah. It's more like it. Apparently it has bright orange fruit that is delectable for kiriru. And of course, kiriru are one of New Zealand's most significant, at least these days, because the other ones have kind of become super rare or extinct birds, for seed dispersal. Oh yes, you can see this whole pigeon wood here. And can we zoom in and find some developing berries? Yes! AKA future kiriru food. And where was I? Kiriru. One of the few birds that can eat large native fruit, complete with large seeds, and, well, excrete them out the other end. Reasonably unharmed and ready to grow, complete with fertilizer. Oh yes, I was right. I think they were totras that I saw. You know, this is quite a nice specimen of totra, Podocarpus totra, because it's a podocarp. Woohoo! The logic of botanical names. I just love them. So, Ponga Fern, and for some reason it doesn't look silver to... oh yeah, it's silver. It's funny, a trick of the light, it looks green from here, but you pull it closer and it's silver. And I think production's mentioned in a previous video at Otari. Obviously it's silver fern, and yes, New Zealand's are known for their silver ferns. Because it's great for branding and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's, you know, sports teams, certain food products that I don't recommend eating, and all sorts of other cool stuff. Woohoo! Go New Zealand, go silver fern. No, seriously, it's cool. Tree fern. Ponga, cool name. And even comes in handy for landscaping, using the trunks of the tree. The trunks of the tree. Even though, as we know, it's not true wood. It's made up of old dead leaf stalks and roots. Because it's a fern, it's not capable of forming true wood. It's a fact you probably already know, or probably don't already know. Depends. Fern! Epiphytic fern. Everyone loves an epiphyte. And down Timahanga track. I seem to say Mahanga a lot. I'm not even sure whether I'm saying the right word, but hey, it's Mahanga. Got this nice, oh! Tuna Bridge. And I think it is because it contains freshwater shrimp or some other form of crustacean. It contains freshwater crustaceans. And I believe we are talking about supplejack. Good old Rhypogium scandens. As you can see, supplejack. And it grows up tall throughout forest, often even twinning upon itself, all to reach valuable life. And that's where obviously you'll find its leaves and all that kind of stuff. And yes, we are talking suddenly all about Cuprosmus. And Kauno is not a name I can remember, I'm afraid to say, but Cuprosma grandifolia, not most familiar on Cuprosma grandifolia, but obviously it's a Cuprosma, has edible berries, and all that kind of good stuff, because we like Cuprosmas here on Gardener Gone Wild. Cuprosmas. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think this is a Cuprosma. Yeah, huge leaves. There we go. Huge leaves. And I think that's the only specimen of it. Yeah, I think we've got... That looks like a cracker maybe. It's hard to tell. And yeah, not many specimens of that plant there. Oh, what a... See, look how flaky the tree fuchsia's bark gets as it gets older. Flaky bark. Who needs flaky bacon when you can have flaky bark? Flaky bark. And this is supposed to be the Tuna Bridge. Tuna Bridge. And I don't really see any tuna or eels. Eels, because tuna is eel, and yeah. I can just see water. No tuna. So obviously they've decided that there's more tranquil places they can be at the moment with all the people wandering around. I mean, I've actually got a good enough break to actually film down here. Oh, and they've got more of these new botanical signs. And what have we got here? It looks like a fern. Yes, mana mana, Splenium bulbiferum, otherwise known as hen and chicken fern. And as you can see, it's got the little buds on it, the bulbules. Let's see, there we go, there's one. And when they're a bit bigger, they can be, well, picked off a plant and planted elsewhere. And that is one of nature's ready-made vegetative methods of propagation. Let's face it, human doesn't even need to do anything. Where were we? Mahoe, Melicitus, ramifolius, or whitey wood? Wow, this is actually quite an interesting specimen. Basically, I don't know what's happened here, but it's just a mass of small, slim suckers trying to reach up to the top. We have these bigger, more established branches that look kind of half deadish, but they're actually still alive. And lots and lots of suckers coming up from the base. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Do we still have reptiles in these? Oh no, not reptiles, amphibians. Oh my god, amphibians. I am feeling so stupid. I can't even get amphibians right. I think these frogs are more active at night, so we probably won't see them. Maud Island frogs. So anyway, moving along. Settlebacks, which I generally don't find around these parts. They're generally better found further up the valley. Like say we were around Fantail Track and Pylon Track, but generally further up's actually better because well, less people go traipsing around there, so the birds don't feel, you know, so threatened by loud, noisy creatures moving around the whole time. So they go generally hang up there and have a very good party. Oh, interesting clearing. I think this is a mentioning glowworms. Everyone's favourite, well, larvae of fungus gnats. Yeah, fungus gnats. Funny, previous videos I couldn't even remember fungus gnats, but I knew that they were larvae, and the sticky secretions at night trap small insects. And that is one big tree fuchsia with a flaky bark and lots of supplejacks. So you can see it's quite a nice little dark shady corner, ideal for glowworms. Excellent. So we continue along, and there's another one of these new, insightful, informative little signs. Now let's see what it talks about today. Oh, liverworts! We love liverworts, and now I know what type of liverwort it is. That is cool. Hemomo pukohu, otherwise known as Monoclea fosteri. I think I'll go with a Monoclea fosteri. Yeah, fosteri. Monoclea fosteri. And we are in particular referring to these beautiful liverworts, or bryophytes, which are an exceedingly primitive group of plants. See, bryophytes encompass both liverworts, or Hepaceae, something rather, some random Latin word, and muci, or mosses. And I believe there's also hornworts as well in there, but I don't really know much about hornworts. Hornworts, hogwarts, who knows. And obviously they like damp places. Damp and generally shady places. Although I've seen a lot of smaller liverworts grow successfully in more sunny places as long as they're kept watered. So as I've mentioned, water is the key operative. Not too much, not too little, just a continuous dampness. And I believe this is an interesting fungus. Interesting. Fungus. Odd. I think it's a slime mould. Yeah, it must be a slime mould. Interesting. So where are we now? Mosses and liverworts like moisture. This is very moist. And obviously they don't have conductive tissues. So they don't have basically like, you know, vessels to convey water throughout the plant. So every single part of the plant must be kept in moisture. Oh, Tuna Bridge, because it has a Tuna or tree fuchsia. And moss, lots of moss. All of that moisture coming off that stream, helping that moss grow on that log. And all of the moss, all of the wort, basically bryophyte, needs to be kept moist. Some bryophytes can handle being desiccated or dried out, but they will stop growing, and they'll only keep growing when they have been rehydrated and kept hydrated. So say your bryophytes, they're not designed for dry environments, they're designed to be kept moist, and that way they'll grow. And they can handle obviously low light environments. I mean, people often get moss and lichens confused, but I mean, lichens are a fungus and algae, while moss are a primitive bryophyte. Anyway, I think that's enough of that. Rambling on. This sign obviously says Remu, or Dacryum caparicium. And yet again, it was originally called by the settlers. Well, not originally, definitely not originally. It's originally called Remu. Called by the settlers. Red pine, even though obviously it's not a pine. This is only a juvenile or a young one. It's even a younger one. And it's also another young one. And there's obviously the nice, big, strong ones, the giants, at the Otari of Wilton Bush. And yeah, so if you want to see some big ones, big Remu in Wellington, there is Otari Wilton Bush. And there's more of this interesting fungus, which I still believe is a slime mold, but I cannot give you a definite and accurately, completely certification. I mean identification. See, we've got more stream. Oh, what have we got here? Kawi, Dixon Spectrebow, everyone's favourite mahogany relative. And where's a particular example? You can't really see that well, but there's all those delicious, not delicious, you wouldn't eat kawi, but apparently there's references in early European journals about making a form of, oh, what's my telephone? Okay, so I believe my time is up. Hope you enjoyed this video today, and I hope I didn't ramble on too long, and I hope you enjoyed this video today. So as usual, please remember to like, subscribe, and enjoy watching my videos, because that's what they're there for, to be enjoyed, appreciated, and hopefully you learn something from them. Because yet again, my videos are possibly a really good time waster. I know they waste my time quite well. But it's not a waste, it's a wholesome, amazing experience, and I thoroughly enjoy making them. So, yeah. Believe that's it for today. So, before we go, just admire that small, not so small, developing leaf uncurling from the base of this tree fern. I think it's a black tree fern, the mamukau, and it's a big growing, big one. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you enjoy this tree fern developing leaf that looks like a monkey tail. And yes, that name has even been used. I hope this is a good surprise. Zealandia is quite crowded today.